everyone, Jem here and welcome to my creative space.
Hi everybody and welcome back. As promised, this is part 2 of the Defemerember prompt number 19, paper bag handle and slow stitching. Now for those of you who watched the first video, which I will link just up there, you'll know that I started off with a heap of scraps of fabric, some silk thread and some paper bag handles, some of which were still whole like this one, and some which I had unrolled to find that there was actually 3 different coloured layers in them, which was great. So I've been doing a bit of slow stitching and meditative practice over the last couple of days, and I've got to the stage where I've produced this. Now I will just try and zoom in just a little bit so that you can see this. There we go. So I've started off with my rectangle of sort of woven fabric, which I know will fit onto one of my journal pages, and I've done some slow stitching, which has included some bits of material that I've had. There's a bit of silk there and some fragments of materials, another bit of gathered silk just here, but also it's including some paper bag handles. Now this is one piece and I've pleated it there. There's another piece here and another piece running down here. So that was great. I had this nice background, and what I then thought, oh look, there's a nice space here for a flower. And I tore the bits of paper bag up and laid them just randomly crosswise like this and placed them down. But unfortunately, the colour just merged into the background too much. And so I wanted to colour those pieces of paper bag handle, and the thing that was handy at the time was a little drop of red wine. So I soaked various pieces of the paper bag handle in red wine, and then just dried it in the sunshine, and it came out this gorgeous purples and pinks. And because there was 3 different colours in the layers of the paper bag, I got some great variations in shade here. So I stitched the flower on, and then using the handle, and you can see the end of it just here, I laid a piece of handle down and with embroidery thread stitched over the top of it to form the stem of the flower. So that's where I'm up to. What I do want to do is to put a button in here to make the middle of the flower, and I tried various different ones and nothing quite sort of stood out for me. And then I found this, which is a little bit odd because it only has 1 hole in it, and as you will know if you've watched my videos before, many years ago I actually inherited my grandmother's button box, and I'm still working my way through it, and so I found this in there, and I'm going to use that as the middle of the flower. So I think I'm going to stitch up and over the edge several times, hopefully in sort of a spiral. Does that make sense? You'll see when I do it. And I also would like to add, I have some of this, which is a moss that grows on our trees here. We live in quite a humid climate, and I'd quite like to incorporate a little bit of this somewhere on there just for some added interest, really. So I'm going to do those things, and then I will think about how to put this into my journal. so there we go. As I say, I've just stitched, and I did like spokes of a wheel to stitch that little button thingy on, and then I just put tiny little tacking stitches on this moss, and this is what this looks like. I can't I'll find the proper name for it and pop it up in the top corner when I remember, but we have lots and lots of this. It grows hanging down from our trees. I think the common name is old man's beard, but it is beautiful, and I've been wanting to use it in my journal for a while. So there we go, I've got a bit of that on there. I am noticing that this is not holding onto the top of the stem quite how I would like it to, but the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to glue this onto a piece of card, and I want to think about how I put it in my journal. So I do have some ideas. And one idea is that I attach it to some card and use it as a flip out, and then I have a journaling spot on the back and underneath. So I'm going to have a look through my journal and see how that might work before I stick this onto anything. So I've actually found this page in my journal, and this one, when I made the journal, this is made from an envelope, and this has already been made into quite a nice big pocket. And do you know what? I just love how this sits on here, and it just makes a lovely front for that pocket. You can still access the top there. And so you know what, I'm just going to glue it on there. I absolutely adore this piece. I'm so happy with how this has turned out. As I said in my previous video, I do like slow stitching. It's one of those things that does help me to slow down and relax, which is not something I'm good at doing, you know, to my own detriment really. And slow stitching is something I discovered a little while ago, which means that you know, there's no particular pattern or plan that you're following, and you can just kind of, it's almost like doodling with fabric and cotton, and that's the best way I can describe it really. You know, you're not kind of fixed on any end result. It's just a meditative process that you know, you just see how it goes really. And I quite like the fact that this piece of fabric has pulled out of shape slightly, and it just gives it that organic look. So I've used some Tiger Grip glue, which is a bit stronger than PVA. I've never managed to get a Fabri-Tac here in New Zealand, and I think this is the closest thing. So that will dry clear, and I'm hoping that that flower, I'm just sort of pushing that down because I want that to stick down just to cover that bit of stem. So I will come back in 5 minutes or so when this is dry, and we'll show you. I think I've developed a bit of a fascination for these paper bag handles, and my mind is spinning with all the potential possibilities that you could do with these now. So in the new year, don't be surprised if there's a few videos on my channel with things to make with paper bag handles, because yeah, I think they're great. I'm going to have a big play with those. All right, so watch out in the future. Okay, so let's have a look. Let's see how we've dried up, or our page has dried up. There we go. So we've got the slow stitching and the paper bag handles, and we've stuck that to the front of quite a nice big pocket, which we can put some journaling cards or really anything else in. And what I did whilst I was waiting for the page to dry was I just cut a little fabric tag and stamped the number 19, which is today's prompt, just on a piece of this paper bag handle. I've been trying to add the number in where I can, so that in future I can look back and see what the prompts were. But I absolutely, as I say, I absolutely love this page. I'm stoked with how it's come out. So hopefully you've enjoyed watching this process, and if you've never had a go at slow stitching, I really recommend it. Just kind of relax and let it go, let the process flow and see where it takes you. Alright, if you have liked this video, please do give me a thumbs up and think about subscribing so that you can see the more videos that I put out. But you know, please do feel free to share and like and subscribe. But for now, hope you've enjoyed this. Ka kite anō. Thank you for watching, guys.